The vast majority of people today live their entire lives in a constant state of pain. Release from the suffering only happens once in a while and is often only a few moments. Once we choose to pursue pleasure above all other avenues in life, we start running from any sign of discomfort and become slaves to desire. So we need to decrease the need for a hedonic treadmill and increase our eudaimonic happiness within our lives. All in all, the eudaimonic approach to happiness and well-being is character building, a lifestyle that focuses less on pleasure-seeking behaviors and more on virtue and the expression of our inner potential. Throughout the video, we will go through the necessary steps to achieve a better life. When trapped inside a negative mentality, you typically just end up strengthening your destructive viewpoint for a myriad of reasons. The greatest contributor to the trap is the fact that your worldview solidifies the longer you stay alive. With each passing day, everything starts to support your beliefs. Everybody filters out information based on their biases. Eventually, an echo chamber would also form. People are less likely to truly listen to someone they find repugnant and will automatically dismiss their stance before they even say anything. In the same vein, people also give liked ones the benefit of the doubt. These factors form a feedback loop without you even noticing. But that's not all. The other main contributor to the hurtful mentality is pride. Similar to the sunk cost fallacy, it gets harder to admit your shortcomings the longer you've had them. Being vulnerable is something that everyone fears and tries to avoid at all cost. Viewing yourself as weak shakes people to their very core. There's a sense of dread with every breath. You feel trapped inside a horror movie, always cowering from reality, desperately trying to fight the notion that you may be weak. But being vulnerable isn't as bad as people make it out to be. It seems that everyone is always watching your every move through a microscope. Any possible weakness will make people see you as trash. But this is far from reality. The truth is that people aren't that critical of others. Obviously, there are plenty of examples of mass bullying on the internet. But that is because of how people are more vicious behind a keyboard. The difference between interacting with someone through an emotionless screen versus someone in person skews our perception of how people will react. Interacting with someone in person makes it far easier to empathize with them, supporting one another instead of being aggressive. You need to understand this difference and value the real people in your life instead of the countless keyboard warriors that plague social media. It is difficult to overcome obstacles and make positive changes when you're too ashamed or stubborn to admit you're not the person that you think you are. It's impossible to achieve lasting happiness when you waste your inner resources trying to hide your flaws and weaknesses. But now that we have a better understanding of how we hold ourselves back, we can focus on acceptance. It plays a vital role in eudaimonic happiness and well-being. By accepting yourself as a flawed but unique human being, you will cease to pretend you're someone else and start focusing on how you truly are. All you have to do is follow these points. Embrace your values. It's important to identify, articulate, and embrace your personal values and beliefs. Thinking and acting in line with your values can help strengthen your sense of identity, improve your self-respect, and make it easier for you to accept yourself. Set healthy boundaries. You may find that you need boundaries in various aspects of your life, such as your work, your relationships, your time, and your finances. Set boundaries and stick by them. Don't let others infringe upon your boundaries or take you for granted. This can help prevent mistreatment, which you may find difficult to accept on a subconscious level. Forgive yourself. If you've made a mistake, acknowledge it and learn from it, but don't debate yourself for it repeatedly. Learn to forgive yourself for your own mistakes. Avoid self-blame. Recognize that you are not the cause of all the negative situations you encounter. Try to be objective and evaluate other factors that may have played a role in the circumstances. Don't compare yourself to others. Try to be a better version of your previous self instead of making comparisons to other people. Focus on positivity. Make an effort to see the silver lining in every situation. Rather than focusing on what you did wrong, try to identify at least one thing you did right. If you have a negative thought about yourself, reframe it and replace it with a positive one instead. Try meditation. The beauty and simplicity of meditation is that you don't need any equipment. All that's required is a quiet space and a few minutes each day. It allows you to focus your mind and it can reduce stress, pain, and depression. Seek help. It may be helpful to see a mental health professional if you feel that a lack of self-acceptance is disturbing your peace of mind, causing you to experience symptoms of anxiety or depression, interfering with your ability to eat or sleep, affecting your work, or harming your relationship. And finally, you need to pick up a fresh piece of paper and draw a big circle on it. In that circle, write down all your qualities and flaws. Think about each and every aspect that defines who you are from the previous points. Leave no stone unturned. The idea behind this exercise is to put them all in one place: strengths and weaknesses, inner resources, and self-imposed limits. Once you accept yourself, you will gain a clear perspective on who you need to become in order to achieve lasting happiness. You can formulate an idea of what you want to focus your time on. You could fix some of your flaws, or you can choose to strengthen some of your positives. Either way, you need to envision the person that you want to be. It does not matter how distant that being seems from you. The important part is knowing where you want to end up. It seems like you are ready to embark on the new journey. But the most important part to keep in mind is setting realistic expectations. The bad thing about it is that people suck at this across all parts of life. For whatever reason, the only way to make accurate predictions is through practical experience. Even then, the way people become accurate is by extending the time frame they think something will take. Regardless of how much experience you get, there will always be a difference between expectation and reality. Experience just reveals how big this gap is. But you shouldn't despair over this too much. As long as you understand this inevitability, you can prepare for it. View your failures as stepping stones to success. Each misstep is still one toward your goal. You can take the lessons from failure and grow past the person you were prior to the journey. Make the most use from each part of your journey and always be prepared to talk with other people. There will always be someone in your life that you can lean on. The people in your life will be able to assist you on your lowest points. There is no shame in getting help from others. No matter what, stay on the path to betterment because life's hurdles will keep coming regardless of what you do. Prepare for the battles you are forced to fight. Good luck and have a safe journey.